Hi, just going to do a quick update of the figures of the small account I've been building. And a warm welcome to one and all. And for those of you who have not seen me before, my name is Langers, and I am the overgrown child that is the Scruffy trader. What I'm trying to do is kind of inspire you with your own trading and maybe show you a trick or two along the way. So if that sounds good, please smash the like and the little subscribe button. It genuinely helps. And if you are subscribed, just check the bell icon switched on. So where are we up to and what am I doing? Well, for those of you who follow me and seen this, you'll have seen last month that I decided to trade alongside the guys in the Scruffy squad with a very small account, starting with just £200. And the idea is to 10 times that across the coming year. So try and turn it into 2,000. It's a tall order, and it's certainly within 12 months. And slow and steady is the name of the game. Less is more. Now, I know there's lots of videos on sort of the land of make-believe, you call Instagram, YouTube, etc., saying that you can turn this into a living wage very quickly. You can't. You may be lucky and sort of hit a flyer every once in a while, but to sustain it, that's something else. If you are building a small account, set yourself a realistic time frame. I set myself 12 months for this. I'd like to think I know what I'm doing.
Isn't that logical?
Where are the pitfalls of a small account? Because I think trading a small account is a damn sight harder than trading a big account.
No way!
I know that sounds odd, but it is. The mental stress is completely different between the two. When you've got a big account, your mental stress is looking at big numbers, and it's whether or not you can deal with that. I was fortunate because I've been used to dealing with big numbers for a very long time, from a former life of running my own business, and then prior to that I had a very successful career in the blue chip sector, so I was used to big numbers and high pressure. Now, when you are on the other side of the coin and you have a small account, the emotion is, so what? It's only a couple £100. I don't care if I lose it. And that is lethal. Because if you have your attitude like that at the start, you may have it with the bigger account as well. Now, you compound that into losing lots of money, it will wreak havoc with you. It really will. So it's something you have to address, and it's very difficult. It's kind of why I have lots of toys and things around my desk, because sometimes you just need to switch off and step out. And I obviously drink a lot of coffee, as we all know, because we all know Scruffy likes a coffee. But to me, they are mental breaks in a pressure cooker. And when the pressure's on, I'll switch off the P&L, and I do recommend that if you're dealing with big accounts. Switch your P&L off, don't watch it. Just look at where the price is, where you want it to go. Be at peace with your stop loss and be at peace with your target. Because if you can't step away from the screen without being nervous, you're trading too big. And it's that simple. Or your trade is not A1. So that's kind of the way I think about things. But with the small account, the emotion side of I couldn't care less, I think sometimes can be worse. Because you'll end up just treading water all the time. Because what's essentially happening is you lose it, you think, so I'll just fund it another couple £100. It'll be all right the next time. the next time you do the same thing because you haven't learnt anything from the time before. So you blow that up as well. Then you fund it again and again. And it just becomes this cycle of doom, if you like. And what you're doing each time when you blow it up, you think your system doesn't work. So you try a new system. And that blows up. So obviously that system's not good. Stick another couple £100 in. Try another system. So you're onto your third system, your third lot of £200. And you've just gone nowhere. And it's all down to the fact that you never respected it in the first place. But if you treat every pound as if it was £1,000 and had that mentality, I think you'd think twice about pulling the trigger. And that's what the whole idea of this exercise is. So let me just show you what the figures are.
Well, we're waiting.
Okay. So this is my sort of broker that I use the most. I do like this broker. I find it very easy to use. This is the current balance, $437.99. And as you can see, it is a live account. So if I just sort of pull up my history over, I don't know, last 30 days, you'll see the deals, little bits of interest and charges for running the account. Just whip it through just so you can get an idea of what's going on. And it's just built up slowly, gently. And I keep a record of it on a spreadsheet like this. And I do implore that you keep journals, even on small accounts, more so on small accounts, because you're still learning and you need to understand what's working and find out what type of trader you are. Now, for me, I think there are 4 types of trader. And I touched on this many times, and funny enough, it was mentioned last night with a few of the guys. So I'll give a little shout out to Phil, Kevin and Yoxie, because they asked a great question, because they were talking about how do you trade if you've got a job. Well, that comes down to the type of trader you are. Now, for me, the disciplines are scalper, day trader, swing trader and a position trader. 4. And if you're working, you can kind of rule out being a scalper because you haven't got time to sit in front of the screen. You can be a day trader of sorts if you have access to the screens, but the chances are if you're working, you're going to be a swing trader. And that means you'll be opening a position up maybe once, twice a day, but sitting on it for a number of days to a number of weeks. And you could also be a position trader where you'll just enter the market and hold it for months. And if you're documenting what you do, you'll be able to find out what suits you the best. Now, what I'll do, I might do it tomorrow actually. I might just trade the hours charts to show you what it's like to trade if you have a job. Because tomorrow's kind of my last working day for Easter, and it might be a nice way to round things off. So let's get back to this, and I'll touch on sort of trading around a day job for tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. So what are we looking at? Well, if I start with a summary, I started in February on this journey with £200. And the idea is to tenfold it, take it up to 2,000. Now I had a good start and it carried through. This month has ended quite well. Again, decent growth, very good pip count. But you'll notice the average size is smaller. Now that comes down to my style of trading, because I split trades, and you'll often see me do that. If I'm in a fiver a point, I'll open up 5 £1 positions. Well, as the account has grown, it's now allowing me to open up 2 separate positions, which are normally about 25p each, because that is the lowest price I can do on this particular broker. So you can open up an oil trade at 25p. Okay, now we'll just keep a few little notes under here. What I want to try and work on for this account is to hold on to the trades longer, and I can. Now I'm able to split the trade, so that's the next part. So if I quickly recap February, you can see the trades there, and then into March. Just get rid of this. I was getting ready for the next trade that hasn't triggered yet. They are there, which kind of balances up to the history I've just shown you. Now, when you look at this sheet, it looks a bit mad, and it makes perfect sense to me, because it's constantly telling me what my balance is, what I started with, whether I'm up, down or indifferent, what the percentage is, how many positions I've taken, what my win rate is, the average pip that I am winning, the average trade. So as you saw, my average was about 30p a pip, which is 10 pips each. Dead simple. This bit here tells me what my compounding effect is. So once I've achieved 10 pips at 74p, I'll then move it up to 81p. It also tells me how many trades I need to take per day to achieve the goals to get the overall goal. Well, I'm working on 1.5 a day. So that means I don't even have to do a full trade because I work my trades off 10 pips. So I only have to do 0.9, because if I can achieve 657, that is 1.5% of the balance, and that helps me.
Good job.
And this little box here is a little target as to where I need to be in iShot. So all I have to do is just tap in whatever that number is into there, 44456, and that's all I need to do. I just have that in my iShot. So if that moves up into there, good stuff. That sort of thing anyway. I'm very visual. I like to see things popping in front of me. But the part that's important on the sheet, apart from keeping a running tally of what I'm doing, what kind of mood I'm in, what reason why I took the trade, is it strong drive up, is it retracing, is it pushing off a moving average, all this sort of thing. It just reminds me, and if something's catastrophically wrong, I record my trades anyway. I can then go back, replay it and just go, yeah, and then make a few more notes, that sort of thing. But if I'm entering a trade, what this sheet does for me, if I just put in the balance there, put in my risk tolerance. Now risk is a big thing on a small account. When I first started this, I had no choice but to take risk on, because I would just never take a trade, because you've got to allow it to breathe. It's now at a place where it's about 5%. I'd like to move that down to 4%. But what happens is, if I say I want this at 4%, that gives me a 1752 maximum risk against the account. So if I've got it wrong, that's how much it's going to cost me. If I pop in my 74p there, that gives me the stop that I need to take. Well, in this case, it's 24. So if I think that's the tolerance that it needs, result. But if I think it's wrong, I will reduce the bid size down. And now it says it's 35. Now that gives it a little bit room to breathe, but the monetary risk is the same. So I still know what the cost is, because I look at risk and I look at profits completely separate. I just want to be at peace with what I'm going to lose, and then I'll be happy with what I'm going to win. All right? Because when you're trying to chase the win rates over and over, oh, you need 3 to 1, 2 to 1, it doesn't always work, and it's really difficult. So I just kind of work it out like this. As long as I'm at peace with how much it's going to hurt the account, then I'll look after the profit. And that's why I want to work on the runners, because the runners help offset the day I'm going to get caught. Hope that makes sense. And there we are. That's my figures in a nutshell. So quite happy. We're starting a new, well, it'll be Tuesday next week because it's Easter holidays this weekend for us in the UK. And hopefully we'll edge it up a little bit more. So if you like all this sort of stuff and you want to follow the journey, I do an update sort of the last day of each month. But in the meantime, you'll see me trading my normal account. You see me trading this account. There's plenty of sort of strange and obscure videos that I do.
No way!
And it's all to help you with your journey. So enjoy it. And if there's anything you need, I'm always around. You know, I'm very easy found. Check the description out. All my contact details are there, and there's a few websites that'll help you out as well that are free to use. So I'll leave it there. Enjoy my coffee and have a good weekend. So as always, guys, do what you love, one you'll follow. See you all in the next one.